Hey, what's going on there, guys? Nick here from Absolute MTG, and I'm back with another sealed product opening video for you guys. So today we are going to be taking a look at the brand new Magic the Gathering Modern Event deck. So this is the first Modern Event deck that Wizards of the Coast has done for the Modern formats. So this is kind of like, I guess, their test run, and they actually put together a pretty sweet product. So this Modern Event deck is mainly intended for competitive players that want to get into Modern but don't really have the cards and want to have access to them. So we are going to take a look at it. It's a 60 card deck plus a 15 card sideboard. You also get some tokens and a spin down life counter. So let's see what all we get inside of here. So the box looks pretty sweet. The packaging on it was actually pretty nice. And on the back it gives a little quick rundown on this March of the Multitudes deck, which is white and black, and it's white-black tokens. So let's take a look at it here. Alright, so it opens on up. We also get some sleeves, which is actually pretty sweet. I didn't know that that this actually came with sleeves, so that's pretty awesome. So we have some Planeswalker symbol sleeves. I'm assuming 80 count. It probably actually says it on the back, but I just don't read. Yeah, 80 exclusive card sleeves, so that's pretty sweet. So it will sleeve up your main deck and your sideboard as well. And then you have 5 more sleeves in there to just use in case some of them rip or tear or anything like that. We have a spin down counter, which is pretty sweet. So a spin down 20-sided die. So we have a actual little insert for March of the Multitudes that just talks about the deck itself, the contents, and how to play the deck, which is pretty sweet. And there are some really sweet cards in this deck, like Sword of Feast and Famine, Elspeth, Knight-Errant in here, some Lingering Souls and Spectral Processions, and Honor of the Pure. So it's a pretty sweet white-black tokens deck, and it's pretty easy to play. I think that's probably one of the best things about it, is the deck itself is actually pretty easy to play. So that's our box here, so we'll move that off to the side. We have our sleeves, and now let's take a look at the deck. We're just going to do a quick run through here, and we're going to see just what all is included, or at least the first hand look at everything in here. Alright, so we have Soul Warden. And whenever another creature enters the battlefield, we gain 1 life. So we have 2 Soul Wardens. Tidehollow Sculler. So enters the battlefield, target opponent reveals his or her hand. You choose a non-land card from it, exile that card. Whenever Tidehollow Sculler leaves the battlefield, return the exile card to its owner's hands. So we have 3 Tidehollow Scullers. Some Path to Exiles, so 3 Path to Exile here. Exile target creature. Its controller searches for a basic land card. Or it's a May ability, actually, so they may search their library for a basic land card and put it on the battlefield tapped. 2 Inquisitions of Kozilek, so you get to look at target player's hands, and you can choose a non-land card with converted mana cost 3 or less from it, and they have to discard it. Shrine of Loyal Legions, I remember this card back from Scars. So at the beginning of your upkeep, or whenever you cast a white spell, put a charge counter on it, and 3 mana tap, sack it, and put a 1/1 colorless mirror artifact creature token for each counter on Shrine of Loyal Legion. So each upkeep you get a counter, or whenever you play a white spell. We have Honor of the Pure as a 3-of, so white creatures you control get +1/+1. We have our anthem there. We also have another anthem in the form of 4 Intangible Virtues for our token creatures. So creature tokens you control get +1/+1 and have vigilance. Raise the Alarm to make 2 1/1s onto the battlefield for 2 mana and an instant speed. Zealous Persecution, so until the end of the turn, creatures you control get +1/+1, and creatures your opponents control get -1/-1 for 1 white and 1 black. Sword of Feast and Famine, which is really sweet to have in this deck. So equipped creature gets +2/+2, has protection from black and green, and whenever the equipped creature connects and deals damage, combat damage to a player, that player discards a card, and you untap all lands you control. Play for 3, equip for 2. 4 Lingering Souls, put 2 1/1s with flying onto the battlefield for 3, and flashback for 2 mana, 1 black. A playset of Spectral Procession, so it has the split 2 or 1 white times 3 for its mana cost, and put 3 1/1 flying spirits onto the battlefield for 3 mana, essentially for 3 mana. So we have an entire playset of those, which is pretty sweet. We have Elspeth, Knight-Errant, which is really awesome. So 4 loyalty to start, 4 cost, +1 to put a 1/1 onto the battlefield, +1 again to give target creature +3/+3 and flying until the end of the turn, and -8 we get an emblem where artifacts, creatures, enchantments, and lands that we control have indestructible. For our land base, we have Caves of Koilos. So our Pain lands, we get an entire playset of Pain lands. We get 2 City of Brass with the art from Modern Masters, the new revamped art. We get an entire playset of Isolated Chapels, which was seen in Innistrad. So it's the check land, so enters the battlefield tapped unless we control a plains or swamp. Vault of the Archangel, so for 4 mana we can tap and give creatures we control get Death Touch and Lifelink until the end of the turn. An entire playset of Windbrisk Heights, so it has Hideaway, where we look at the top 4 cards of our library, exile 1 card face down, and then put the rest on the bottom of our library. Taps for just 1 white to our mana pool, but for 1 white and tap, we can play the exile card without paying its mana cost if we attacked with 3 or more creatures this turn. So we can manipulate things by being able to play like maybe another Spectral Procession to gain more life with Soul Warden, or we can play Zealous Persecution as a pump anthem or a -1/-1 for our opponent's creatures, or even like an Intangible Virtue or a Honor of the Pure, something like that. So Windbrisk Heights is pretty sweet. It's pretty sweet to see that in the deck. And then we have 5 plains and 4 swamps. So pretty sweet main board. I like the deck, actually. I like it a lot, and it's a pretty good just kind of intro deck that people can build off of. I think that's the best thing about it, is the deck just is so good to start out with that people can understand what's going on, and then as you get a little bit better at Modern, you understand like what's going on in Modern. You can add things to it, or you can take things away. Like you can go and you can play something more like Soul Sisters and add more Soul Wardens and Soul Attendants in there, and then you can play things based off of life gain, Martyr of Sands, and just a lot of really sweet stuff around life gain. There are just so many different potential things that you can do with this type of a deck, or you can just go traditional tokens and you can just try to play that stompy deck out and just have a little bit of hand disruption with it. But here's our sideboard. So Relic of Progenitus ×3, so taps the exile card from a player's graveyard, or 1 and exile the Relic of Progenitus to exile all cards from all graveyards and draw a card. We have 2 Forge-Tenders, so Burrenton Forge-Tender, 1/1 for 1 white, protection from red, sack it and prevent all damage a red source of your choice would deal this turn. 4 Duress to take a non-creature, non-land card from our opponent for 1 black, which is not bad. Kataki War's Wage ×3, which is actually pretty sweet. All artifacts have, at the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice this artifact unless you pay 1, 2/1 for 2 mana, and it's a legendary creature that I would like to add, but pretty sweet against the affinity matchups. Dismember ×2, so target creature gets -5/-5 until the end of the turn for 1 and 2 black Phyrexian mana. And 2 Ghost Quarters to be able to blow up lands like against Tron. It's pretty sweet. And up against decks that are running stuff like man lands, it's pretty awesome as well. So we can tap, sacrifice the Ghost Quarter, and destroy target land. Its controller may search his or her library for a basic land of his or her choice, put it on the battlefield, and then shuffle their library. And then we have some tokens, which is pretty nice. So we got some dual-sided tokens. So the spirits are dual-sided with Mirror and Soldiers, which is pretty awesome. I'm kind of disappointed that they didn't include more, but it's still pretty sweet that they include some tokens and dual-sided tokens as well, just because the deck has so many different tokens that you're producing, but it's still pretty sweet that they start you off with a few tokens to work with. Like you can even just use some of them as like tapped or untapped tokens, and just use dice to represent how many tokens that you have of tapped or untapped ones. And then you have the Elspeth emblem, which is pretty awesome, and it actually doubles as a soldier. So I was wrong, you do get some more soldiers there. So you do have multi-purpose tokens / emblems that are included with this to be able to work with. So I highly recommend this for anybody that wants to get into Modern, anybody that doesn't really have the cards to play Modern, and you want to find a easy way to jump on into Modern and play some competitive events, or at least like Friday Night Magic events for Modern or something like that, this is a great way to start. The deck is MSRP. The MSRP for it's like around $70, somewhere around there. Most shops are going to be selling it for that much, and most vendors online will have it for somewhere around there. So if you can pick it up for $70, I think it's well worth the money just to get yourself into Modern. For anybody else that doesn't really, that actually has the Modern cards, like if you already play Modern, it's probably not the best investment of like $70 for you. However, if you don't have the majority of these cards and you don't want to go and purchase them separately and you want to buy them from like one direct source, the Modern event deck is definitely something to consider. But with the event decks, they're always kind of geared for newer players more than anything. So if you're looking to get into Modern and you want to find a, well, I don't really want to say affordable way. It's probably pretty much equal if you're buying things separately, if you're buying like all the cards separately. If you want to find an easy way to get a Modern deck together for a pretty reasonable cost, the Modern event deck is definitely the way to go, and that's probably my honest opinion about this. Is if you're new to Modern, go for it. If you already have Modern cards and you already play Modern, it's probably something that you would want to steer clear from, or at least unless the price drops on this thing, which is probably unlikely. But for new players, go for it. It's a really sweet product, really sweet cards, and it's a really sweet deck overall. They definitely put together something really fun and easy to play. So thank you guys for watching the video, but until next time, peace out.
If you guys want to keep up to date with everything that we have going on here at Absolute MTG, remember to hit that subscribe button, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter for all of your Magic the Gathering needs. Also, remember to check out our sponsors of the channel, MTG Madness and AVUgames.com. But as always, thank you guys for watching.